Have you ever felt that subtle loss of strength when doing everyday tasks, like carrying a bag of groceries or lifting the kettle for your morning cup of tea, and wondered if it's simply an unavoidable part of aging? Many of us assume that once we pass 75, there's little we can do to maintain or rebuild muscle. But here's a refreshing piece of news. Your body can still adapt, grow, and strengthen in ways you might not expect. The key often lies in something we tend to overlook, our protein intake. And I'm not talking about fad diets or trendy powders. I mean practical, low-impact protein sources that fit seamlessly into a senior-friendly lifestyle. One of the biggest challenges people face after 75 is preserving muscle mass without placing excessive strain on the joints. The body's natural processes change, and it becomes more difficult to utilize protein as efficiently as we did in our 30s or 40s. At the same time, some conventional wisdom might say, don't worry too much about protein anymore, or stick to bland, simple foods. But the truth is that maintaining healthy muscle is crucial for independence, balance, and the ability to continue enjoying the activities that make life meaningful, like gardening, dancing, or simply taking the dog for a walk. There's a sense of hope in knowing that, with the right nutritional approach, you can keep those muscles strong and ready for action. Adding a few strategic protein sources to your daily meals can spark a transformation that improves not just your physical well-being, but your emotional confidence too. After all, it feels good to carry out everyday tasks without constant fatigue or worry that you'll strain something. Even better, it's empowering to know that these changes are within your control, no matter your age. My goal is to share 5 low-impact protein options that make a real difference when it comes to muscle preservation. We'll explore why these foods matter, how they help, and simple ways to work them into your routine. I've spent years working with older adults, listening to their concerns, and watching small tweaks in daily nutrition lead to big improvements in both energy and mobility. It's incredible how often someone will say, I wish I'd known this sooner. You deserve the knowledge that can help you feel stronger and more capable at every stage in life. While I'm not a doctor, and you should always talk to your healthcare provider about personal dietary questions, what I can offer you are evidence-based, realistic suggestions. These are tips that many seniors have already found helpful, and they might be a starting point for your own success story. Stick with me through these 5 low-impact protein options, and by the end of this conversation, you'll not only understand why getting enough protein is vital after 75, you'll also have the practical steps needed to incorporate it without turning mealtime into a chore or a puzzle. Whether you live on your own, with a partner, or in a senior community, these approaches are flexible and adaptable. Feel free to grab a notepad or mentally bookmark anything that resonates with you, and please jump in with your own thoughts. Imagine we're having a friendly chat about something that has the potential to transform your quality of life. After all, improving muscle health isn't just about numbers on a scale or how much weight you can lift. It's about sustaining the freedom to move, explore, and find joy in every day. So let's dive right in. We'll talk about common misconceptions, relatable examples from people just like you, and the practical steps that can ignite real change. If you're ready to learn how small adjustments can yield big rewards, keep listening. You might just discover that stronger, more resilient muscles are still well within your grasp. It's natural to have a bit of skepticism, especially when there's so much conflicting information out there. But don't worry, we'll keep things simple, evidence-based, and tailor-made for the unique nutritional needs of seniors. Let's start with the first low-impact protein source and challenge some myths that may be holding you back. First, let's talk about eggs and why they deserve another look in your pantry. Most of us grew up hearing all sorts of things about eggs. They raise your cholesterol, they're too high in fat, or simply, they're not heart healthy for older adults. These blanket statements have led many seniors to cut eggs out entirely. But is that always the right move? Not necessarily. In reality, eggs can be a powerful ally if you're looking to preserve muscle mass in your 70s, 80s, and beyond. John is 78 and has recently been concerned about his thinning arms. He used to enjoy tennis back in his 50s, but he gave it up, convinced that he was simply too old to keep it up. Over the years, John cut down on his egg intake after hearing from friends that eggs weren't heart-friendly. For breakfast, he typically had a piece of toast with butter or jam. But deep down, he missed the taste and satiety that eggs provided. A few months ago, John's doctor suggested he incorporate eggs back into his diet, but in a more balanced way. That meant paying attention to the cooking method and pairing them with vegetables or whole grains. After giving it a try, John noticed a small but meaningful difference. He felt more energized in the mornings, more satisfied, and more willing to try light exercises to rebuild his arms. What John experienced aligns with a growing consensus that eggs aren't the health villain they were once painted to be. In fact, they contain high-quality protein, about 6 grams in one large egg, and essential amino acids your muscles need. The cholesterol concern is more nuanced than it first appeared. While some individuals may need to moderate egg consumption depending on their overall health, many seniors can enjoy eggs several times a week without dramatic cholesterol spikes, especially if they maintain an otherwise balanced diet. Of course, it's wise to talk to a healthcare provider if you have particular cholesterol or cardiovascular concerns, but for many older adults, eggs can be a welcome addition. If you want to try adding eggs to your routine, start small. Maybe have 1 or 2 in the morning, boiled or poached, to keep added fats at a minimum. You can also do a veggie-packed omelet. Think spinach, tomatoes, a sprinkle of cheese, and maybe some leftover mushrooms from the night before. The advantage here is that eggs cook quickly and don't require a lot of preparation. Plus, they're gentle on the jaws. Important if chewing tougher foods has become uncomfortable. When you incorporate an egg-based breakfast 2 or 3 times a week, you're not just giving your body protein, you're also receiving key nutrients like vitamin B12 and vitamin D. Those vitamins support muscle function and bone health, 2 crucial factors in staying active. Emotionally, there's a sense of satisfaction in bringing back a food you might have loved years ago, but were told to avoid. It's a small act of reclaiming your choices and trusting your body's signals, especially if you monitor how you feel afterward. So if you've been skipping eggs for years based on old advice, consider revisiting them. If you're cautious about cholesterol, you can experiment with 1 whole egg plus extra egg whites, which still delivers high-quality protein, but less dietary cholesterol. Over time, you may notice you feel steadier on your feet, more alert in the mornings, and confident enough to add a light exercise session into your day, like a gentle walk or a few arm raises with light hand weights. Before we move on to the next protein source, here's a quick reflection. Do you have any favorite egg recipes from years past that you might enjoy again? Sometimes a simple shift, reintroducing a familiar, nutritious food, can spark a chain reaction toward better health. If you have questions or memories about how eggs fit into your diet, think about them. You might be pleasantly surprised at how easily they can slide back into your routine. Now let's take a look at something that might seem like a young person's health craze, but actually holds real benefits for seniors: Greek yogurt. Many people see Greek yogurt as just another trendy item in the dairy aisle. You might wonder, isn't it just expensive yogurt? Or aren't all yogurts basically the same? This misconception keeps a lot of seniors from tapping into its unique nutritional profile. The truth is, Greek yogurt can be a remarkable tool in preserving muscle, thanks to its high protein content and relatively low sugar, especially if you choose the plain varieties. Meet Janice, who's 83. She has a sweet tooth and used to love ice cream as her go-to dessert every evening. But after noticing her weight creeping up and her energy levels dropping, Janice started exploring alternatives that could satisfy her cravings without piling on empty calories. A friend introduced her to plain Greek yogurt, drizzled with a little honey and sprinkled with fresh fruit. At first she was skeptical. Wasn't yogurt bland or sour? After a few tries, Janice found that she actually enjoyed the creaminess and the slight tang, especially when combined with the sweetness of berries or a light touch of jam. Not only did she feel more satisfied, she also realized that her stomach felt less bloated at night. Greek yogurt stands out from regular yogurt because it's strained to remove extra whey, resulting in a thicker texture and higher protein concentration. Depending on the brand, a single cup can contain around 15 to 20 grams of protein, an impressive figure for a snack or a side dish. It's also packed with calcium, which supports bone density, a factor of particular importance to seniors looking to stay mobile. And while Greek yogurt contains beneficial probiotics to support digestion, what's especially relevant here is the easy-to-absorb protein it offers, which helps repair and maintain muscle tissue. For those who worry about sugar or artificial flavors, choosing plain, unsweetened Greek yogurt is key. If the tartness is too strong, stir in fresh fruit like blueberries or peaches. You can even add a touch of honey or a no-calorie sweetener if your diet allows. Consider using Greek yogurt in unexpected ways. As a base for savory dips, a substitute for sour cream in recipes, or a creamy element in smoothies. The versatility means you can enjoy it at different times of day. Breakfast, a mid-afternoon snack, or even a light dessert, making it easier to get more high-quality protein throughout your routine. Emotionally, discovering that you can still relish something reminiscent of ice cream, only healthier, provides a pleasant sense of satisfaction. It feels good to realize that nutrition after 75 doesn't have to be about giving up all treats or forcing yourself to eat bland meals. Instead, it's about finding solutions that both delight your taste buds and honor your body's changing needs. If you're wondering how to begin, start by picking up a small container of plain Greek yogurt on your next shopping trip. Taste it as is and try different combinations. You might swirl in a spoonful of fruit preserves or top it with a handful of granola for texture. Keep track of how it makes you feel. If digestion is a concern, you might find Greek yogurt easier on the stomach than heavier dairy options, and the extra protein can give you a gentle boost of energy. Now that we've covered eggs and Greek yogurt, I'd love for you to think about this. Is there a small, manageable change you could make in your breakfast or snack routine to include either of these options once or twice a week? Even a modest shift in your daily habits can compound over time into noticeable strength gains and more stable energy levels. Take a moment to consider it, maybe jot down a quick note if an idea comes to mind. Let's move on to the next protein source, one that's often viewed as mundane or poor man's food, yet has been a cornerstone of many healthy diets across cultures: beans and lentils. There's a common assumption that beans and lentils are for people who can't afford real protein. Some seniors also worry that beans will cause digestive discomfort. These beliefs overlook the valuable role beans and lentils can play in muscle maintenance. The fiber, plant-based protein, and range of nutrients they offer make them a powerful ally, especially if you're mindful about preparation. Samuel is 80, living alone since his wife passed, and he admits that cooking for one can feel like a chore. He often relies on canned soups or microwavable meals, which are convenient but not necessarily high in protein or nutrients. A nutrition-oriented neighbor convinced him to try something different, a simple lentil soup recipe. Samuel was surprised at how easy it was. Lentils simmer quickly, and he could toss in some chopped carrots, onions, and a bit of seasoning. After a couple of weeks of having lentil soup for lunch a few times a week, he realized he felt fuller, longer, and even noticed a slight improvement in his energy levels. He's since branched out to black beans and kidney beans, often adding them to salads or mashing them into spreads for sandwiches. The key to making beans and lentils work well for seniors is in the cooking or selection process. If you find them hard to digest, rinse them thoroughly before cooking, or opt for canned beans labeled low sodium that you can rinse under running water. Soaking dry beans overnight, then discarding the soaking water, often helps reduce gas-causing compounds. Another tip is to add digestive aids like a pinch of cumin or ginger, which can make the beans gentler on the stomach. Beans and lentils are a great way to increase your protein intake without relying on meat. A cup of cooked lentils can contain around 18 grams of protein, and beans typically offer around 15 grams per cup, plus the added benefit of complex carbohydrates, which provide steady energy release. This balanced approach can help you avoid the spikes and crashes that sometimes come from sugary or highly processed foods. From a mental health standpoint, it can feel empowering to whip up a batch of beans or lentils at home. You're taking charge of your nutrition, making a dish from scratch that's wallet-friendly, and it often tastes far better than you might imagine if you haven't tried it in a while. If you have concerns about taste or texture, start small. You can blend cooked lentils into a sauce or stew so you barely notice them, or mix half beans and half meat in a recipe like chili. Add fresh herbs, onions, or garlic to elevate the flavor. Many seniors also find that homemade bean-based dips are delicious. Just puree the beans with a little olive oil, lemon juice, and your favorite spices. It's a high-protein dip you can spread on crackers or vegetables. Remember, as you begin to incorporate beans and lentils, pay attention to how your body reacts. If you're on medications for high blood pressure, for instance, keep an eye on your sodium intake when you use canned beans. Rinsing them helps, but it's always wise to stay mindful. Overall, beans and lentils can become a satisfying, cost-effective protein staple that supports muscle maintenance and overall vitality. Next, let's shift gears to a protein source that often sparks debate: fish, particularly fatty fish like salmon or tuna. You may have heard conflicting advice. Some say fish is essential for its omega-3 fatty acids. Others worry about mercury levels or question whether fish is as beneficial as claimed. As a result, many seniors either eat fish too rarely or opt for breaded fish sticks, thinking that's enough. But let's peel back the layers to see what fish can truly offer for muscle preservation. Gloria is 76, a retired teacher who always hated the fishy smell in her kitchen growing up. She avoided fish most of her life, but after her last checkup showed borderline cholesterol issues, her doctor gently suggested incorporating more heart-healthy fats into her diet, like those found in salmon. Gloria agreed to try it once a week. Using a simple recipe, she brushed the fillet with olive oil, sprinkled a little salt and pepper, and baked it alongside some vegetables. Much to her surprise, the fish didn't smell as pungent as she remembered, and she found the texture quite pleasant. After a month, Gloria noticed she felt less lethargic, and especially after meals. Her next doctor's visit showed a modest improvement in her cholesterol numbers, which motivated her to keep fish in her rotation. Fish provides not only high-quality protein, but also omega-3 fatty acids, which can support heart health and may help reduce inflammation in the body. This anti-inflammatory effect can be especially beneficial as you strive to maintain muscle and reduce joint pain. For seniors looking to preserve muscle, fish is a low-impact way to introduce protein that's easier on digestion than, say, large portions of red meat. Many fatty fish varieties are also a good source of vitamin D, which plays a role in muscle function and bone health. If you're worried about mercury, consider focusing on fish known to have lower mercury levels, such as salmon, sardines, tilapia, and trout. If fresh fish feels expensive or you have limited access, canned or frozen options can be surprisingly good. Just check the labels for sodium content or added oils. Sardines, for example, are quite affordable, compact in water or olive oil, and offer a tasty, nutritious punch if you enjoy their unique flavor. You can mash them with a little mayonnaise or yogurt, spread them on whole grain bread with some fresh vegetables, and you have a protein-rich meal in minutes. To make fish more appealing if you're sensitive to odor or texture, try mild-tasting varieties like cod or haddock. Baking or grilling with fresh herbs and a squeeze of lemon can further reduce any strong aromas. As a bonus, fish cooks quickly, so it's not time-consuming. For many seniors, this can be a real advantage, an easy, healthy meal without spending too much time on your feet in the kitchen. Emotionally, adding fish to your diet can feel like a step toward a more vibrant lifestyle. You might find that you're sleeping better or feeling less stiff in the mornings, which can encourage you to remain active. That sense of control, of knowing that something as simple as choosing fish for dinner can contribute to your overall strength, can be a powerful motivator. At this point, we've explored 4 different protein sources: eggs, Greek yogurt, beans and lentils, and fish. If you have any questions, it might help to jot them down or even share them with a friend. Have you tried cooking with any of these foods recently? Is there a favorite recipe you'd like to revisit? Take a second to reflect, because sharing our successes and uncertainties can inspire new ways to enjoy these foods. Let's keep the momentum going and look at our final protein source: tofu and tempeh, 2 plant-based proteins often misunderstood or dismissed as flavorless health food. There's a persistent myth that tofu and tempeh are only for vegetarians or people who follow strict diets. This often prevents seniors from discovering these nutritious options that can make a significant difference in muscle preservation. Tofu and tempeh, derived from soybeans, are rich in protein and offer a versatile canvas for various flavors. If prepared correctly, they can be delicious and satisfying, appealing even to longtime meat eaters. Consider Harold, age 77, who lives in a retirement community with a cafeteria-style dining area. Whenever tofu was on the menu, he skipped it, remembering a bland, rubbery dish he tried decades ago. Then one day, out of curiosity, he picked up a stir-fry that featured marinated tofu chunks mixed with vegetables. He was shocked to find it flavorful and even asked the chef how it was prepared. The chef explained that pressing the tofu to remove excess water and marinating it in herbs, spices, or sauces makes all the difference. After a week of occasionally choosing this tofu stir-fry, Harold noticed that his midday energy felt more consistent. He wasn't weighed down after lunch, and he was more eager to join afternoon card games and light walks around the facility. Tofu comes in various textures: soft, firm, and extra firm, each suited to different types of recipes. Firm tofu can be diced into chunks and added to soups, stews, or stir-fries. Soft tofu works well in smoothies or as a base for creamy sauces. Tempeh, on the other hand, has a firmer texture and a nuttier flavor. It's made from fermented soybeans, which can offer some digestive benefits and a higher fiber content. You can crumble tempeh into salads or slice and pan-fry it as a tasty sandwich filling. Soy products bring a unique combination of high-quality plant protein, vitamins, minerals, and often some fiber. While there's some debate about whether soy affects hormone levels, moderate consumption for seniors is generally considered safe. If you have specific hormonal concerns or a personal medical history that might be affected by soy, it's always wise to consult a healthcare provider. Still, for many older adults, tofu and tempeh can be a beneficial component of a varied diet. One practical tip is to think of tofu or tempeh as sponges for flavor. Marinating them in sauces, like a mix of low-sodium soy sauce, ginger, and garlic, can help them absorb wonderful tastes. Then you can bake or lightly pan-fry them. If you're worried about complicated recipes, start with something simple. Press firm tofu to drain excess liquid, cut it into cubes, marinate for half an hour, and bake at 375 degrees Fahrenheit for 20 to 25 minutes. Add your favorite vegetables, serve over brown rice, and you have a protein-packed meal that's gentle on the stomach and joints. Many seniors find that introducing tofu and tempeh opens up a new world of meal ideas. Rather than relying on meat every day, which some find hard to digest or expensive, soy-based proteins offer variety and a lighter feel. Emotionally, it can be quite freeing to realize that you're not locked into the same old meals. Exploring new foods is a reminder that curiosity and discovery can happen at any age. It can also be a great conversation starter if you're dining with friends or family who have never tried these foods. By now, you've heard about 5 low-impact protein sources: eggs, Greek yogurt, beans and lentils, fish, and tofu, tempeh. Each has its own myths and misconceptions. Each can be adapted for your particular tastes and dietary restrictions, and all can work together to help preserve muscle mass, support bone health, and maintain the energy you need for everyday life. As we wrap up these 5 points, I want to leave you with a brief reflection to connect all these ideas. Which of these foods resonates most with you? Is it the return of eggs to your breakfast table? The creamy goodness of Greek yogurt? The wallet-friendly power of beans? The heart-healthy benefits of fish? Or the adventurous spirit of tofu and tempeh? You don't have to try them all at once. You could pick one that feels most approachable and see how it works for you. When we talk about aging well, a big part of the conversation is about mobility, independence, and the emotional confidence that comes from knowing you're doing what you can to support your body's resilience. Protein is one piece of the puzzle, but it's a critical one, especially after 75, when the body's natural processes make muscle preservation a bit more challenging. Still, challenge doesn't mean impossibility. With the right foods on your side, you can uphold strength that translates into small victories every day. Lifting that laundry basket more easily, walking up a flight of stairs without feeling winded, or standing confidently during a social gathering. Of course, it's not just about one nutrient. It's also important to stay active, even if that means chair exercises or gentle stretches in the morning. Always keep your healthcare provider in the loop, especially if you have chronic conditions or specific medication routines. But let this conversation be a reminder of the power you hold over your diet and, by extension, your well-being. Even if you're dealing with arthritis, limited mobility, or other health concerns, these protein sources can be adapted. You can enjoy scrambled eggs even if your wrists feel weak. You can savor a creamy yogurt parfait without needing to chew tough meats. You can indulge in a hearty bean soup that doesn't strain your wallet. You can bake a mild fish fillet with minimal effort. And you can try a tofu dish that doesn't require heavy lifting or complicated prep. The options are flexible, and they cater to different tastes and abilities. Now let's bring everything together into a broader vision for your next steps. Imagine it's your typical weekly grocery trip. You toss a carton of eggs into your cart, remembering that you'll boil a couple for breakfast. You also grab a couple of single-serve Greek yogurt cups, perhaps plain or lightly sweetened, to replace some of those dessert cravings. You walk by the beans aisle, see canned lentils or black beans, and think, why not try making a small batch of soup? Then as you head to the refrigerated section, you might pick up a piece of salmon or a bag of frozen fillets, easy to thaw and pop in the oven. Maybe you even venture into the international foods aisle and pick up a block of tofu. Armed with a few marinade ideas, you feel a sense of curiosity instead of dread. One trip, a few items, countless possibilities for better muscle support and energy. The sense of urgency here isn't about scaring you. It's about reminding you that every day is a chance to reinforce your body's strength. Muscles don't freeze in time. They respond to the care and nutrients you provide. Waiting too long to address muscle mass decline can lead to greater challenges, like more frequent falls or decreased independence. But by making small, steady changes right now, yes, even in your mid-70s, 80s, or beyond, you're giving yourself the best possible chance to stay active and engaged in life's joys. With that said, I'd love to encourage you to take action in a way that feels right for you. On the simplest level, you might just try one new recipe this week. If you feel ready for more, consider keeping a short food journal to track how these protein sources make you feel. Or if you're really enthusiastic, share what you've learned with a friend, neighbor, or family member. Cooking or talking about health together can make the process more fun and also help keep you accountable. Before we part ways, I want you to remember that you are not powerless in the face of aging. Each day, each meal, and each decision you make can move you closer to the strength and independence you desire. There will always be challenges, aches, pains, or moments of doubt, but now you're equipped with knowledge and strategies to tackle those hurdles from a place of hope and opportunity. So here's to preserving muscle after 75 and beyond, to savoring your meals, finding joy in simple, nourishing foods, and living life with the energy and spirit you deserve. You have the wisdom of your years and the power to make informed choices. Let's celebrate that by taking even one small step today. Whether it's adding an egg to tomorrow's breakfast or planning a delicious fish dinner this weekend, the journey to stronger, healthier muscles can start right now. Thank you for sharing this time with me. I hope you feel encouraged and motivated to look at protein in a fresh, exciting light. Remember, if you have special dietary concerns, always consult your doctor or a registered dietitian to personalize these recommendations. Beyond that, I invite you to explore, experiment, and enjoy. You're the best expert on your own body, and with a bit of guidance and a spark of curiosity, there's no limit to how you can support your well-being at any age.